Welcome to SST College of Arts and Commerce, Ulhasnagar 4. We are here on Edupedia digital platform for learning, introduced by SST College of Arts and Commerce. Today, we are going to take the course Corporate Communication and Public Relations, which is given to TYBMS students under semester 5, and today's topic will be covered Public Relations Management, Module 3 and 4. Myself presenting the topic, Professor Komal Kamra. Public Relations. What is public relations? It is an art as well as science of talking to the right audience in the right voice. It influences and shapes a company's image, reputation and perception and culture as well. Let us move to the figure. Public relation, it covers audiences, it covers society, it covers advertising, it definitely covers social issues, it is covered and connected to media, or we can say media is one of the very important tools for public relations, news and communication. What is the nature of PR? PR is essentially defensive. Many times it has been observed that when companies are being cross-questioned or being blamed for certain things, they use PR and they make defensive. It is a corporate armor, definitely. It is an, we can say, a defensive tool for the company that a company can wear, which would protect a company during adverse times. That means PR is a protective tool. Public relation can also be defined simply as a practice of managing communication between an organization and its public. Very true. When we are communicating to the general public, or a company or an organization is communicating in one or the another way, or by following all the possible modes, is called as public relations. Now, what functions are being performed by PR? Let us go through. One is media representation. Public relation is representing media, making the use of media, via media and through media. Crisis communication. Sometimes there may be some crisis or critical conditions in the company which are to be dealt effectively with a good communication skills. Let us take the example of Maggi noodles. Years back, it was into the limelight. They faced lots of crises all over the world. But with the help of good communication, their good public relation, the function of crisis communication was performed by Maggi, and it again took back its peak position in the market. Next is content development. Content refers to what we exactly want to communicate. The words, the paras, the statement, we can say the mission statement, the vision statement, as well as anything which is being conveyed by top level management to all other levels, as well as the company to the rest of the world. Next is stakeholder relations. We have seen there are two types of stakeholders connected to the company. One are the internal, another are the external. Internal stakeholders include all levels of management, employees, laborers, and external stakeholders include public at general, society at large, government, suppliers, distributors, customers, NGOs, and anyone who is connected to the company or who is a contributor directly or indirectly. So to maintain good relations with stakeholders, public relation definitely performs or helps. Next is public image strategy. It is very important for the companies to create a good image in front of company, and that can be done with the effective public relations management. Next is social media management. Presently, the business has come from towns or cities or globe to the social media network. So, social media management and communication via social media, reaching a small, even a small child who can be our prospective customer, and PR helps to connect that each and every age group of customers and persons. Next is outreach events. Many times company to promote or to communicate their offers, promotion or anything about them to the general public, they go for outreach events. It may include sponsorships, contests, competitions, quiz, and many more things. And those outreach functions or events can be conducted properly with the help of good PR. Handling emergencies. There may be certain emergencies. Say, for example, a company may or an employee may face a challenge in the form of an accident. So those emergency situations can also be handled politely with the help of good public relation management. Counseling, to motivate people, to make people aware of what company wants to do, what company is doing, what the company will do, and how to motivate employees and customers. Counseling sessions are being also taken by PR. In-house journals. In-house journals relating to the events, achievements, future plans, rules, regulations, norms, changes being brought in the company are being published in-house journals, which is an example of good PR. Next is special events. Special events sponsoring special things or honoring certain employees, appreciating them with the help of good performance appraisal. It is being depicted or reflected with the help of good PR. This is public service activities. Activities being undertaken by PR in the form of public service. For example, conducting medical camps, issuing certain certificates or any other camp or guidance sessions, and many more things are being undertaken by public relations to maintain good relations. Next is Marston's 4-step model. Marston gave a 4-step model in which good public relation can be done. One is research, that we have to do research. We have to conduct research. Where do we fail? Where are the chances of improvement? It includes SWOT analysis. What are the strengths of the company? What are the weaknesses? What are the opportunities? And what are the threats we have to overcome? So research, searching the things which are hidden, which may solve our PR problems and other problems. Next is action. After research, when we come to know what is to be done for the betterment of company, the actions are necessary actions to be taken. For taking those actions, communication is very important. We need to communicate those actions first to our employees, then to the general public. Then evaluation. Evaluate what have we done by checking research process, action process, communication process, and ultimately making it a comparative study, what we planned and what we exactly executed. So evaluation is the 4th step. In short, Marston's 4-step model is called as RACE, which stands for R stands for research, A stands for action, C stands for communication, E stands for evaluation. So Marston's 4-step model, RACE. It is very much helpful. It is short and easy to follow. Next is benefits of public relations. Public relation definitely gives some advantages or benefits to the company as well as to the public at large. Creditability. The company is doing good public relation, their creditability, their market standing, their market value or goodwill rises. Cost. It definitely affects the cost in long run, because if once we spend something on public relation, it is going to last longer for number of years and becomes beneficial for the company. Avoidance of clutter. Whatever problems or issues can be avoided. Lead generation. With good PR, we can lead the generation who is taking care of or who is going to be the next generation or the next employees. Selectivity. Public relation gives a benefit by allowing us to select the right path for the purpose of communication, right way or mode of communication to the public, or how to reach the customers. Image building. Good image building is, or public relation is the key to good image building. Once image is good, the company can survive for longer period. So perpetual succession of the company depends on image building, and image building depends on good public relations. Measures. Let us see what are the measures. Internal measures of public relation and external measures of public relation. As discussed, internal people by us already, stakeholders, owners, investors relations, employees relations, suppliers relations, distributors relations, other associate relations like transportation companies, communication companies, media, and many more. And external measures are consumers, community, media, government, relationship with financial institutions, relations with action groups, relations with general public, NGOs, and many more. Crisis management. PR can help in managing crisis, before crisis and after crisis. How pre-crisis? Let us see. Anticipate crisis. A good PR can anticipate well in advance, have intuitions of crisis which may happen in future, and they will plan accordingly. Identify your crisis communication team. Once we have identified future crisis which may arise, once we anticipate crisis, it is our foremost duty to identify how to communicate and keep a team ready so that they can communicate to the public or the affected department in crisis. Identify and train spokesperson. Very important. Before crisis, we must take an action and do one particular function, identifying the persons who can be the true or good spokesperson and train them so that they can manage crisis situations easily with their effective communication. Establish notification and monitoring system. When crises arise, before that we must set a particular system which notifies us, which monitors the future crisis. Identify your stakeholders. Just think about the contributors to your business. No contributor must be harmed. This is a thing which is to be decided pre-crisis. Develop holding statements. Develop various statements which you can hold for a longer time. Do not go for loose talks. Develop holding statements. Those can help you to stand in the market for longer period of time. Post-crisis. Asset the crisis situation. If crises are there, make it an asset. Convert it from liability to asset by solving its problems. Finalize and adapt key messages. Finalize, that is take decision, and adapt, that is accept key messages, main messages which are to be conveyed after crisis, like the case in case of Maggi noodles. Post-crisis analysis. Whatever happened, we need to analyze it, and so that we prepare a report, and in future we make our companies safer in such situations. Next is role of PR officer. PR officer, that is public relation manager, PRM or public relation officer, PRO. His role is to play like an advocate. He has to play as an advocate, the one who advocates, the one who suggests, gives suggestions to both the parties, the one who advocates the company in front of political parties, in case of press release. Communicator, he has to communicate between the parties of crisis. Problem solver, he has to scratch his brain and give the best suggestion, matured suggestion and practically feasible suggestion at a time of problems. Opinion maestro, he must be always ready with different types of opinions which are going to save the company to jump into or move on the lines of crisis. Uses of PR, why and where PR is used. One is customer complaints and redressal. It is very important. In olden days, PR was known to be the customer's pride, because customers used to communicate to the company about their problems, issues and complaints to the directly PR. So customer complaints and redressal, know the customer, know their problems and how to redress those. That is the basic use of PR. In combating rumors or falsehoods, whatever rumors and falsehoods are there about company, the PR department has to tell the real stories and disclose the facts of the company in front of others, and whatever rumors and falsehoods are being spread in the market, they have to oppose those and decline those. Do not accept anything what is as a rumor. How do PR get their job done? It's very difficult for a large company to appoint one PR and expect everything to be done by him. So how PR gets his job done? Using clout of agency, that is influence. Whatever your company's name is influential, use your goodwill by virtue of being a space buyer. Buy a space in newspapers, in television, keep something reminding about your company to the customers. Cultivating relations with media and leveraging that when required. keep maintaining good relations with media, all types of media, print media, electronic media, and leverage those relations whenever required. When company needs to get a good image, when they want to introduce a new product, or when they have sorted with some problem, they must leverage those relations which they have maintained with media. Communicating that is newsworthy. Whatever is newsworthy, they must communicate to the public via media. Something which is useless, they should never communicate. It will create a bad image or negative image of the company in front of general public, and which media would be glad to carry. Media should also accept something which is newsworthy and good. Public relations, marketing and advertising. Aren't they all the same thing? Most of the people, they take public relations, marketing and advertising to be one and the same. Definitely not, really not, they are not the similar. They work in coordination with each other, they are integrated concepts, that's why they are taken along with each other. Marketing and advertising traditionally promote product and services. We have seen what advertising does, what marketing does, they simply promote products and services. Whereas public relation, what does it? It promotes the entire organization. It promotes the image of the organization. It promotes or it supports the perpetual succession of the organization by solving problems, keeping connected with the people and general people or stakeholders, internal and externals. I hereby wind up my presentation. Thanking you a lot. Take care.